Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A viral video of a flooded and under-constructed respiratory hospital has gone viral on social media and has caught the attention of Health Minister Mary Isaac. The minister addressed the video saying that it is no secret that the hospital is under construction and is in dire need of extra work. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The island's Health Minister Mary Isaac has addressed a now viral video of a male proclaiming to be a COVID-19 patient at the Victoria Respiratory Hospital. In the video, the man highlights the poor state of the building, namely floors flooded with rainwater and moldy ceilings among other complaints. The man likened the room in which he was staying on what was formerly the hospital's maternity ward to a crack den. On Monday morning, Isaac indicated that this was a one-off incident and that it had been rectified. She said the hospital's condition is no secret.
I have seen that. That was one individual, and we all know that there are renovations taking place at the hospital. We have had to speed up the renovations because now we have the spike in COVID. Unfortunately, it's not anybody's fault, but we have to deal with that issue. So the gentleman has been moved to another ward that is a little bit better. But we do have these conditions there right now, and until we have finished the renovations, we expect, that, people will have to put up with some conditions that are not necessarily, up to standard.
The minister also addressed the issue of mold seen in the video. She said whilst this is a concern, there are bigger issues at hand to deal with.
We have mold and mildew in almost every building in St. Lucia, so that is really a minor issue. It is something that we can always deal with, The main problem now is to complete the bigger renovations, like, walls, the wards, and stuff like that. The plumbing system, which is what you saw, giving us a bit of some issues. So these are the things that we really have to focus on right now in terms of getting them rectified, fixing them up so that the patients can be comfortable when they come into the hospital.
As for how long it will take to renovate the hospital, Isaac said this depends on a number of factors, including weather conditions. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
There seems to be no end in sight to the surge in COVID-19 cases. This past weekend, the island recorded a total of 21 cases, 13 on Saturday and an additional 8 cases on Sunday. As of Sunday, the 8th of November, the total number of cases stood at 131. 99 of those are currently active. Nisha Charles tells us more.
The community of Choiseul is the latest to be hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. This past weekend, the community recorded 4 cases, 1 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. These are among 21 new cases recorded over 2 days. Castries recorded 7 new cases, Grosley 6, Vieux-Fort 2, Soufrière 1, and Micoud 1. According to the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, 11 of these 21 cases were identified through the contact tracing process, and epidemiological links have been established for these cases.
Case number 112 is linked to case number 74. Case number 114 is linked to case number 68. Cases 118 and 119 are linked to case number 53. Case number 121 is linked to case number 95. Cases 124 and 131 are linked to case number 78. Cases number 126 and 127 are linked to case number 68. Cases number 129 and 130 are linked to cases number 70, 71, 72, and 73.
As per protocol, arrangements have been made for the transfer of these individuals into care. With the increasing number of cases of COVID-19 in country, the Chief Medical Officer advised the population to stick to the basic measures for infection prevention and control.
Hand washing remains a standard for interrupting the spread of infection like the COVID-19 virus. Hand washing in combination with the wearing of a mask in public will offer significant protection from being infected with the virus. It is also important that if you are experiencing respiratory symptoms, that health services are accessed at the nearest respiratory clinic. These community respiratory clinics are the Grosley Polyclinic, the Cleary Wellness Center, the Dennery Hospital, the Viewfort Wellness Center, and Soufriere Hospital. We take this opportunity to remind everyone that while experiencing respiratory symptoms, to avoid social gatherings and remain at home until recovery.
Other guidelines include maintaining a 6 feet distance from others, which is about 2 arms lengths, and the use of an alcohol-based hand sanitizer when soap and water are not available. Immediately seek medical care if experiencing respiratory symptoms, which include fever, cough, shortness of breath, and sore throat. Be sure to avoid contact with people who are experiencing respiratory symptoms. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The first effective new coronavirus vaccine can prevent more than 90% of people from getting COVID-19. That's according to preliminary analysis. The developers of the vaccine, Pfizer and BioNTech, described it as a great day for science and humanity. Their vaccine has been tested on 43,500 people in 6 countries, and no safety concerns have been raised. The companies plan to apply for emergency approval to use the vaccine by the end of the month. No vaccine has gone from drawing board to being proven highly effective in such a short period of time. There are still huge challenges ahead, but the announcement has been warmly welcomed, with scientists describing themselves smiling ear to ear and some suggesting that life could be back to normal by spring. Castries Central MP Sarah Flood-Bobra is expressing concerns over the high number of cases of COVID-19 being recorded in her constituency. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more.
From March to October, the island recorded 28 cases of COVID-19. However, from the beginning of October to Sunday, the 8th of November, the number of cases shot up by another 103 cases, bringing the island's total to 131 to date. Of those cases, 41 of them came from Castries, making the capital the epicenter of the coronavirus. On Monday, Castries Central MP Sarah Flood-Bobra was unsurprised by the stats, as she said this is expected as the capital is also the hub of business transactions on island.
Castries is very densely populated, and you can appreciate that. Every day, hundreds of people come into Castries to work, whether they come from north, whether they come from south, east, or west. And it's only natural to expect that where you have a densely populated area with lots of influx of people from all over the island, that is something that might be, which is why it is important.
The MP said, adding to the high traffic to the city, there is also the issue of failure to uphold the protocols by many outside of the capital.
The Minister of Health spoke of that earlier, and basing it on what she says, there seems to be a laxed adherence to the protocols in the south, for example. So that would not just affect the south, it will certainly affect the city, where you have people coming in. So it's not surprising if the statistics that you quote are correct, because we do have people daily coming into Castries, and we know how the virus is spread. So it's a responsibility we all have to take seriously, because St. Lucia is too small. If we have COVID in one part of St. Lucia, we'll have it elsewhere, because there's one city, there's one place you come in to do. If you need a passport, you need to come down to town. You can't get it somewhere else.
Flood-Bobra reiterated the importance of adhering to the protocol, as failure to do so will result in many more positive cases. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. On Sunday night, St. Lucia recorded its 19th road fatality. Dead is Messiah Jean-Louis after his motorcycle collided with a truck. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
Another young man has lost his life on St. Lucia's roads. At approximately 5:30 p.m. on Sunday 8th, police and fire officers were summoned to the scene of a vehicular crash on the East Coast. The rider of the motorcycle was subsequently pronounced dead and has been identified as Messiah Jean-Louis. He is St. Lucia's 19th road fatality for 2020 thus far.
The deceased is Messiah Jean-Louis, a 25-year-old resident of La Pointe Dennery, who was also the rider of motorcycle PG1448. A post-mortem examination is scheduled for a later date.
The collision occurred at the junction of the Tiroshe Gap along the Mico-Vieux-Fort Highway. Lead firefighter Stacey Joseph gave the details of the crash.
An initial response was made with 1 ambulance and 1 rescue tender. Subsequently, the Dennery Fire Station responded with an additional ambulance. Emergency personnel found on the scene a male individual appearing to be in his 20s who was reported as the rider of the motorcycle, lying on his back on the ground. A rapid assessment revealed that he was pulseless and breathless. He was immediately immobilized on a spine board and transferred to the ambulance where CPR was initiated. A detailed assessment was performed which revealed that the patient sustained several wounds and fractures on his body. The driver of the pickup was also assessed and placed in an awaiting ambulance. Both patients were provided rapid emergency transportation to the St. Jude Hospital, where they were left in the care of medical personnel.
Sympathy posts have been coming in by the droves on social media as the deceased appeared to be well known in many circles. Calls have been made for motorists to be more careful on the roads as an increase in fatal and non-fatal road accidents are being recorded. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, Sarah Flood Mowbray on her high hopes for the new U.S. administration. Over 700 tourists are welcomed to the island by tourism officials over the weekend. And the Met Services urges caution amid inclement weather conditions. That and more after the break.